welcome back to the Animal Crossing New Horizons playthrough. My name is Ectric, and we are back for a part 2 of this recording session. Same as last episode. We've done a couple of things since the last one. Namely, we got a flea off of Goldie, and we got a new recipe from Tammy. I just talked to my other 2 neighbors, and that was pretty much it. So with that, I think that what my plan for today is to go on another mystery tour, hopefully get a more rare island, and at the very least do some fishing and bug catching, and kind of just do a bit more of a podcasty episode, just because there's really not much extra stuff that I want to do, but I still want to play for a bit more. So I don't want to do it, have something important happen and then not catch it on screen. So let's see. We should be good. Let's just check what we need for extra fishing rods and stuff. So the apple umbrella was the next thing what we found. Unfortunately, we don't have apples in our town right now, so we can't make one. Hopefully, eventually, we'll be able to get apples in our town. So we need an extra iron nugget, which we can get from the rocks that are going to be there most likely. And then tree branches. Okay, so we can build ourselves one as long as it's not a bamboo island. So with that, let us first go and drop off any sort of materials and such into storage. Then we'll go sell the rest of the stuff. This is so cool. I really am happy with this wallpaper. Oh, we also need to talk to Sahara to get the mysterious flooring. Alright, so we're gonna go put this in storage, as well as these. Alright. And I guess we'll put the phone case in storage as well. I still don't understand why I can't use that. But maybe I'll do a cut at some point and figure it out. Alright, so let's go talk to Sahara real quick first. Where'd she go? There we are. How's it going? Yes. Well, actually, no. Flooring. Let's make a trade. Yes. Wallpaper, flooring. Which of these whisper to you? Flooring. We got the wallpaper last time. There you go. 5 tickets and 1 flooring. Perfect. Yes. Alright. Have a good one, Sahara. What do we get? Crosswalk flooring. Interesting. So let's go check what that looks at real quick. And then we can decide on whether we want to keep it. We should probably turn on the lights, to be honest, so that I can actually see it. Alright. And let's see. Place on floor. Horizontally, let's try. Interesting. I kind of like this, actually. We'll keep it for now. Why not? Makes the room look really big, actually. I don't know why. It's really cool, though. Okay. Well, for now, I think that is all we need. And we'll go sell the rest at Nook's Cranny. And then we will be good for the... Oh, we also need to go redeem the ticket for the tour. So we'll go do that. And check what else they have in the Nook ATM. Or the Nook Stop, as it's called in actuality. I want to sell. Right, I am offering these 3 things. Conch, coral, and a flea. Not much. Alright. Like 900, maybe? Oh wow, over 1,000. I'll take it. Good stuff. Alright, have a good one. Oh, actually, I should check what flowers they have. Because we found out last recording session that, they change. From day to day. We got those new flowers, yesterday as of this recording, but, 2 episodes ago? 3 episodes ago? I don't know. We'll check it. Alright. What do we got? Ooh, a black umbrella. A bat umbrella. That's kind of cool. I want to be Batman on a rainy day. I'll buy it. There we go. Good. Let's see. Pansy, windflower, red windflower, orange windflower, white, yellow. Do we have white pansies? I don't think we do. I'll take 5. Alright, perfect. Let's see. Anything else? Not particularly. Red wrapping paper, and then we have all those recipes right. Alright, that should be good. See you later, mini nooks. Okay, so we'll go plant those flowers real quick. And as well as, are we carrying them? Hold. Now this is a look. Unfortunately, we have to keep switching it out for tools. Alright, let's see. Are these white pansies? I bet they are. Now that I think about it, we definitely have white pansies. Oh well. Let's plant. Yeah, those are definitely white pansies. Even though they're like purple. Let's see. We'll plant it over here. Plant. Plant over here. Good. And 2 more. One over here. And one over here. Perfect. Okay. And we also got some Nook Miles Plus, I bet. Yep. Plant 3 flower seeds, huh? Good stuff. Okay. And with that, let us go buy our mystery tour ticket and whatever else they have in store for us at the Nook ATM and go on our mystery tour. Go out of the way, Flip. Oh, that's the museum. That is not what I wanted. Wasn't even paying attention. Oh, you're awake. That's neat. Means it must be getting late. Alright. Let's go to the correct building this time. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Now, let's figure out what we want. How's it going, Tom Nook? Oh, that's right, we have to talk about the campsite. Yes. Of course I found a place. Idiot. Splendid. I can't wait to see the spot you picked out. Now, now that the location is settled, I can proceed with construction. Tomorrow we'll have a wonderful campsite for visitors. How exciting. Yep, good stuff. Alright, let's check here. Nook shopping. That's what we want. Special goods. A garbage can? Tape deck. Terry cloth do-rag. Sporty shades. These ones are cooler than the other ones, I think. I like the blue better than the orange. A frog tee. A tie-dye shirt. Outdoor shorts. Rain boots. We'll buy those. Okay. Soulful KK. Now that's some good stuff. Is there anything else we want to buy? Now we can buy that. And we'll also get the tape deck. Why not? Alright, with that, I think that's everything that we need. And that'll be it. Okay. Redeem Nook Miles for the ticket. Bell voucher. I still didn't figure out what that is. Maybe we'll buy one. Alright, redeem that. So we got 2,000 of those miles spent. And do I want to buy you know what? It's not worth it to in case, because I don't want to waste my miles, because I feel like that the miles are going to be a lot harder to get than bells. And I'm pretty sure that the bell voucher just gets you can just turn it into Tom Nook and he'll give you bells in return for it, or you can just sell it. I don't know. I'll look it up along with the phone case thing. All right, with that, let's put the bat umbrella away for now. Place item. Really? Put it next to the hammock. No, I didn't mean to do that. Put away. Place item. There we go. Close enough. I'll pick it up later. I don't want to waste the space in case we get something good for the island that we're going to. Alright. On to the airline! Hopefully it's something good. Alright. I'm gonna sneeze on you this time, see if it'll work. Oh. wrong one. Here we go. There we go. How's it going? Hey, hey, hey. Every time I hear the theme song play, it just makes me smile. I'm really happy with how that came out. Alright. I want to use my Nook Miles ticket, and we will be all set. Ready to get you in the sky right this minute, but let's just check. You all packed? Tools all ready? Time for takeoff. Okay. Now, I really hope that we end up getting something with new fruit. So I'm really tired of getting either a bamboo island or a cherry island. Alright. I wonder how rare each of the island types are, because I know there's a bunch of different types. I know there's like a tarantula island where they just spawn a bunch of tarantulas, which would be like really, really good because we get a ton of money. Apples! Yes! Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Alright, so with that, we did get a new fruit that we will be able to add to our island. So, I'm very glad that I ended up going with that choice. Alright, let's pick all these fruits. And while we're doing that, we can kind of just go over... I don't even know what to go over. I've kind of rambled on in all these videos a lot lately. And my life isn't that interesting that new things crop up that quickly. Especially during, you know, me staying indoors all the time, social distancing and all that. So, I really don't know what what I can say about this, but I'm just really enjoying this game. And I've got, I've got to watch the new episode of Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist still. Haven't watched that yet. I'm planning on watching that with my girlfriend at some point. I don't know when she's wanting to watch it, but by the time she sees this episode, we will definitely have watched it. So she'll be able to tell me at that point. And maybe she'll text me when she hears this to let me know where she is in the process of watching this video. But let's see. But yeah, I want to watch that new episode. The most recent episode that I've seen had sign language in it, which is really, really cool. That was really cool to watch. They did a song with a group of deaf people who were all using ASL to perform the song and basically quote-unquote sing the song, except using sign language, and there was no singing. It was just them signing the songs, and it was really, really cool to watch. I have seen sign choirs before. My girlfriend was in a sign choir, so she was extremely excited about that episode. I had heard about it beforehand, so I was kind of just having to hold in the fact that it was coming up because I knew she would absolutely freak out when she found out about it. But it was very fun watching that and watching her reaction to that as well. It was a very good episode. And I'm really enjoying that show. It's basically just a Broadway-style show with the incorporation of the music in it. Because all the cast members sing and they don't realize, but it's kind of like if an audience member were interacting with a Broadway show in real life. Because the main character is aware that everyone's singing and aware that it's a weird thing for people to be doing in real life. But everyone else isn't aware of it because it's all in her head, technically. And just a really, really fun concept for a show. All of the actors and actresses are extremely talented singers. Obviously, not all of them are... It's obviously not live singing a lot of the time, but I think that's just mainly because it's a TV show and they can't really... they probably don't have the time to make it... believable while also having it them sing in person, so they just kind of record them in a studio and then play it over the video of them like dancing and singing along. I don't know how the technical aspects of that work out, but I assume that it's probably easier for them to just record them in a studio rather than having them record on set. Or it's the case where they can't get a good enough quality sound for the ensemble pieces and stuff like that. so they just go with the studio recording and dub it over. But nonetheless, still a lot of fun to listen to them, and the stories are always pretty fun to watch. Oop, didn't mean to do that. I'm just really enjoying that show. I've also been binging Star Trek Deep Space Nine lately. I've kind of just been using that for as my show to have on while I'm doing other things. Sometimes I'll have it on while I'm editing, although I tend to like start having something on in the background while I'm editing, and then inevitably I will end up trying to hear something better that in the editing and stuff like that, and I'll turn it off and I'll forget to turn it back on. So I really don't end up watching a ton of stuff while I'm editing, but whenever I'm doing like research work or classwork or grading or anything like that, I'll have something on the background. I used to do a lot of YouTube stuff, but lately I've been in the mood to watch Star Trek, so I've been watching Deep Space Nine, and I'm that's near the end of season 5, so getting towards the endish at a certain point, which really sucks because I really enjoy this show. Obviously, I've still got the original series to watch through most of, and I've got Enterprise, but I feel like that's not as much up my alley as Deep Space Nine and Next Generation and even Voyager. I feel like that the original series, I've seen a couple episodes, and it's a little bit dated for me. Obviously, like for its time, it was revolutionary and very, very progressive and stuff like that. But there are just some plot points where it's just like you can definitely tell that it was a 1960s person version idea of what progressive meant, and like today's audience, it's kind of still not that great in terms of social stuff. But I mean, I think that if I actually get into it and get into the characters more, I'll be able to enjoy it despite those types of things. And then we've also got Enterprise, which I've heard like generally decent things about, but that it was just it didn't ever really hit its groove, and like when it started getting to where it could have hit its groove, the networks kind of gave up on it and just canceled it before it had a chance to really like get to a point where it was like a really good show. So I know that one is the only one post the original series that is not 7 seasons, because I know Voyager, Deep Space Nine, and The Next Generation are all 7 seasons long, and that one is only 4 seasons long. So I think that it kind of was a victim of the fact that it was there was a ton of Star Trek going on for a long time, and it kind of just got caught on the end of a trend, and it was it also just kind of like it fell into the trappings of prequels in which they were kind of it's hard to make a good prequel just because it is basically either you make an interesting story and plot holes inevitably crop up because it's hard to basically make a compelling story where you already know what the outcome is, or you get into the issue of it's kind of boxed in by the lore. It stays within the lore, but then you kind of can't really tell anything because there's no stakes. Again, because you already know what's going to happen at the end. So it's a really tough line to thread. I don't know that I really can think of an example that does it extremely well. I'm sure there are some out there. Crucian Carp, I already have those. I know that, I mean, I'm a pretty big fan of the Star Wars prequels. It's probably partially nostalgia because my very first Star Wars movie that I saw was Episode 3. And I saw it in theaters as like a 9-year-old or however old I was at the time. But I think that that's probably part of the reason why I'm so lenient on the prequels, and I understand that there are some faults in that trilogy. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily like the best prequel example, because I know that it's very divided on whether it's actually even good or not. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I think that it's mostly good. I think that there are definitely some problems with like dialogue and stuff like that, and some of the effects don't stand up too well and didn't even stand up at the time. But I think that the story overall was very, very interesting, and they did a very good job at telling that kind of story. I freaking love Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequel series, trilogy rather. It's he's just my favorite character in all of Star Wars. And then we've also got I think that also like I'm kind of interested in the political aspect of it. Like there's a lot of like intrigue around, you know, how the Emperor was like manipulating both sides to be able to become the Emperor, or Palpatine he was at the time, and basically how he's manipulating things and how he, you know, used the levers of democracy and played upon people's fears and desire to feel safe to be able to kind of get his way and take over. And it's really, I find it really interesting commentary, and as ham-fisted as some of the, you know, dialogue and some of the storyline could be, I think it was a very interesting and compelling story, at the very least. And there were some good acting. There was some good acting in that series, or that trilogy. I'm not as big a fan of the sequel trilogy, unfortunately. I think partially because unlike with the prequel trilogy, I don't have any nostalgia towards it, so it doesn't really blunt some of the issues I have with like plot holes and all that stuff. So I think that if I had grown up on it, it's very possible I would have enjoyed it a lot more than I did. And to be fair, it's not that I didn't necessarily enjoy it. It's just there's a lot wrong with it, and there's a lot that I would have done differently. And it might just be that I went into it expecting, you know, what my idea of a good storyline would be, and when it didn't happen, I kind of just went, oh, well, it's not what I wanted, so it's not good. And I try my best not to look at it that way, because it's unfair. What is this? A dace. Do I have one of those? I do. All right. But yeah, so I like every time I came out of the theater, I like came out enjoying the movie for the most part. But like as it went on, I kind of looked back on it and realized there were more and more flaws with it. And I think as time went on, I ended up on looking back on it, liking it less than I did when I first saw it. Because whenever I first would see it in theaters, it would just basically be, you know, I enjoyed the story for what it was. I didn't really think about how it fit into the broader narrative, and didn't really worry about how it fit into the overall, you know, storyline of Star Wars. And then as I like went more in depth into how it like affected the rest of the lore of and the world, it basically kind of I saw like the plot holes, and it kind of took away from it some. And I don't know if that's fair or not, but that's just what ended up happening. So how much more space do I have in my bag? I still got plenty of space. Let's see. Let's go fishing up there real quick. But yeah, so prequel trilogy, pretty big fan of. I do admit that the second episode is pretty awful. I mean, other than the fact that there's like the I don't like sand memes and stuff like that, it's very memey, but it's not like by any stretch of the imagination a great film, or even a good film necessarily. A cherry salmon. Ooh, a new fish. So I can definitely admit that one's not great, but I think the Phantom Menace is pretty good. I mean, the Darth Maul scenes are incredible. Darth Maul is just a really, really compelling antagonist. and villain. And I think that overall, I think the story is pretty good. Obviously, some of the they probably could have gone less with the pod racing, although I'm a big fan of Greg Proops, and seeing him voice the the announcer guy from the English speaking announcer guy head, it always entertains me because I know him from Whose Line Is It Anyway, and also from that one TV show on Nickelodeon, True Jackson VP, I think it was called. It was like that one where they basically found a teenager and made her vice president of a fashion company. I don't think that it was on for very long, but ooh, a butterfly fish. I'm getting some new fish here. That's good stuff. But yeah, that was a TV show that could have been a fever dream. True Jackson VP. It was really weird. Like, I watched it a little bit, mainly because Greg Proops was in it, and again, I'm a big fan of his from Whose Line Is It Anyway. I love the Whose Line Is It Anyway, especially the the American version with Drew Carey. I will watch clips of that on YouTube with a pretty regular frequency. Actually, it's one of my go-tos for whenever I just want to watch something funny, just clips of it. I remember growing up, my brother and I, we would on New Year's Eve we would my parents would get together with some of their friends and their families, and all the kids would basically hang out the entire time, and we basically at one point did something similar to Whose Line, and my brother and I absolutely loved it, and basically had a ton of fun with doing like the improv type stuff. So I just remember having a ton of fun doing that kind of stuff growing up, and basically mimicking Whose Line. And I have very fond memories of those interactions and such. Freshwater gobby. Alright. Not to be confused with a freshwater dobby. He just messes up everything and then dies from a knife. Alright, let's see. Let's vault across. Is there anything else we want to do? Look at his dumb mouth. Alright, I think that we're pretty much done here. I got all the fruit. I got some new fish. There's really no bugs around here other than those yellow and common butterflies. And I don't feel like really fishing anymore because actually, I'll fish a few more minutes. Why not? We got some time. It's only been like 25 minutes. Maybe 26 or 27. I don't know when we started exactly, but we're getting towards the 30-minute mark. And we've been kind of going over 30 minutes this entire series. Just because I have so much fun and I get distracted, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. We're supposed to have a time limit on this. Horse mackerel. I've got one of those already. I've got many more than one of those already, actually. Alright, let's see. Yeah, you can't see it. Come on. Alright. A squid. So getting back to Star Wars a bit, I was talking with one of my friends who I'm planning on actually doing some videos with it at some point. We're thinking about doing some episodes of us playing Smash Online versus each other, and he is much better at it than I am. So it'll basically just be him beating me at Smash for however long we play. But we're thinking about doing some videos together, so I'm very excited for that coming up. But what we were talking about, like our favorite Jedi and Sith and stuff like that in Star Wars recently, and I said that Obi-Wan is definitely my favorite Jedi. He is. I don't know why exactly. I mean, obviously, I really enjoy him in the prequels, and he's just like a very, very fun character. He's got like the sarcasm, and he's also like purely good, and you never really worry about him turning bad. But I think it's also the fact that he's not necessarily like the most naturally gifted, but he like works extremely hard, and like his technique is his technique is like the only reason that he's like as high as he is. Ooh, seahorse. Oh no. Swap it. We'll get rid of one of the other fish that we already have. Get rid of one of the loach. Release. Alright. With that, I think we've got everything we need. But yeah, so Obi-Wan basically, I don't know, I think he reminds me of like my philosophy when it came to like sports and stuff like that, because I was never the most naturally gifted athlete, far from it, to be honest, but I always had a really hard work ethic, and I always focused on being as technically proficient as I could be, especially in track and field. When I was throwing, I definitely wasn't that strong. I mean, when I first came into throwing, my very first shot put throw was, I think, like 14 feet, which was like for the first season had me throwing very, very first at every single meet because I was the worst one there. But I just kept kind of practicing my form and stuff like that, and it got to the point where I was going to like regional meets and stuff like that because I was doing well enough. So, and it was never because I was the strongest or the most athletic, because I never really was. I obviously got stronger and stuff like that, but oh yeah, I still have my pockets full. Drop it. But so I was never the strongest or anything like that. But I always was able to just work on getting as good as possible at the form of it all and stuff like that, and the technique. And I basically used that as the way to really compete with people and be as good as possible. And I think that Obi-Wan is kind of similar in that he wasn't nearly as force sensitive as a lot of the other masters, and especially not Anakin or anything like that. But he was still, one of the best Jedi that ever lived because he just worked so hard at it. And I think that that's kind of, I don't know, the meritocracy of it all really jives with me. And he also, his dueling philosophy of basically just playing defense until the other person messes up is definitely something that I kind of relate to in terms of sports and stuff like that. If I'm ever playing some sort of like sport in which it's like a one-on-one battle or something like that, like if I'm ever playing like ping pong or pool or something like that, and I'm playing against someone who I consider better than myself, I kind of just play defense until they mess up, and I kind of work on the fact that I can be good enough that I won't make an unforced error, and they basically either have to be so good that they can force me to make an error, or they'll mess up and I'll end up getting the points and stuff like that. And that's kind of how I see it. And that's my philosophy on these types of things. So, with that, I think we'll go sell this stuff and then call it an episode. I've been enjoying this podcasty kind of vibe for this episode. We also should go plant some apples, but I might do that off screen just because we're getting towards the 30-minute mark, and it's not worth it to make another episode out of that. So we'll sell. Alright, we're going to offer this, all of these, all the fish, and sand dollars and such. Alright. That should be good. We're not selling any fruits, right? Yeah, we're good. Okay. So we'll sell all that. Probably gonna be like 3,000 bells. I was wrong. I have not guessed correctly once on the price that I'm gonna get. I've consistently undersold my ability to get bells from these little creatures. Spawns of Nook. So with that... actually, I think I'm going to eat one of these coconuts. And we're going to destroy that rock real quick. Good. Alright, so... Do I have to eat 10 of them? Oh, it's 7 o'clock. Shovel. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we destroyed the rock. That's exciting. So now that we've done that, we can go plant some trees. And I think I will do that off-screen. So I'm going to call it an episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was a lot of fun. It was very podcasty. We kind of just talked while we were doing other stuff and doing chores. There weren't so much chores this time because we were on an island tour. But I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making this episode. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you in the next episode. Have a great one. Bye.